So yeah, whenever you're ready, let's just jump in and tell me a little bit, or tell everyone a little bit about your business.
All right, let's jump right in. I'm Greg. My company is Problem Solved Appliance Repair. Hold on, the business phone is constantly ringing, so let me get these guys out of here really quick.
Feel free to take that call, man. I can always edit the video later. I don't want
Okay,
losing any.
sweet, 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 sweet. This is Problem Solved Appliance Repair. I started the business. I guess the idea came about the 5th of September. I went ahead and got the business name registered by, I think, the 20th. And my first job was on September the 28th. It was the first machine I ever touched. I don't know. I had to learn as I go. But luckily, I was able to be successful because I'm one of the ones that kind of pick up fast. And I'm very determined and I have mentorship. So I was able to get through it. And now I'm here, I guess, almost 90 days later, 60, 90 days later, and rocking and rolling. 3 jobs this morning so far, knocked them out the park, put some good money in my pocket, and it's going as planned.
Why start the business? What drove you to it? I mean, that can be a very scary thing for some people, and something that just isn't right for a lot of people.
No, you're right. I was actually, I was an underwriter. I've always worked in the mortgage industry, made tons of money. I was working from home, 7 to 4, 35, 36 dollars an hour. It wasn't bad to just work from home. My commute was three seconds from my bedroom to my living room. But I looked at the big picture and I said, you know what? Even though they pay me well, I don't control it. I don't control what's happening. And I was looking for a way out and I was studying things and I was actually going to look into HVAC and I was looking into coding. And then I stumbled upon this right here. And I said, wait a minute, because HVAC required me to go to school. And I said, well, I have to work. I have children and stuff, have to do that. And with this, I was kind of able to do on the job training. So I kind of learned as I go. I went and did some ride alongs and picked up some really good stuff. I do a ton of reading. I'm reading the, what was it, Pliantology, reading that. And I don't know what I'm reading. But after I read it and then I run into it, I'm like, hey, okay, this is how this works. So still learning how to read schematics. But as far as give me a washer or dryer, I can knock it out. I learned on Samsung. So oddly enough, those are the easiest ones to me. I'm venturing into refrigerators. I'm just nervous because of how big they are and I don't want to mess up and can't turn it back on. But I've done some like just ice makers, inlet valves, nothing real serious. And for some reason, I'm afraid of microwaves, man. I haven't done one yet, but that magnetron, they said 40,000 volts. I said, okay, um, I'm gonna leave that alone. But I see a ton of jobs for microwaves. So I'm gonna learn that. So I'm gonna go and do some ride alongs, watch people do it, read up on it, give it a shot, go home. I'll take my own refrigerator apart. I'll take my own damn microwave apart, but I'm gonna figure it out because I want to be the best. I want to be really, really good. And I'm gonna learn how to do it by just over and over doing it, paying attention, reading, and taking as many courses as I can to learn.
Yeah, I know a lot of appliance repair business owners that I speak to that do microwaves. They talk about how the homeowners, they're so committed to get it repaired when it's a built-in, because
Yeah.
it's color coded, it matches the whole kitchen setup, all that kind of stuff. And then also on the other side of it, those that have like a storefront, and they will have people bring in those more, the portable ones, bring them into the shop. So
Yeah.
uh, yeah, if microwaves are something that you want to do, it's there's money there. There's me being a marketer, the way I look at it, there is demand, there is intent. Like those customers or the prospective customers, like they're motivated. So
Indeed.
meeting that demand with the supply, if that's what you want to do. But yeah, so if I'm hearing you right as to why you wanted to start the business, I consider this like, I think of this as like the standard, for me at least, is the standard entrepreneur's bug, where you're busting your ass, you're bringing value, and you're seeing the value that you're bringing for the business that you work for, but you're seeing that you're compensated in a much different sort of balanced way. The owners, the
Yeah.
managers, are the ones that are reaping the majority of the benefits. I know that for me, that along with sort of the aspect of freedom, or control over what kind of freedom I did and didn't have. Those were two things that really drove me also. Um,
Do you have children?
Say that again?
Do you have children?
No, no.
Okay. The worst thing that, now again, I've quit six-figure jobs multiple times to start businesses. So I'm just built that way. I'm built to be a boss and not really sit back. But I have great work ethic and I'm a great employee. But I always said to myself, as much as I work and you guys are paying me 150,000, how much am I making for you? And all this effort that I'm putting into your business, making you these millions to pay me this 150,000, uh, wait a minute, I could put that effort into myself. So as you see, I'm out here, 3 jobs done by noon. And I'm gonna tell you what really got me, just to fill you in. So mind you, I made $350 a day. And when I started this business, I started it very part-time. I worked 7 to 4 and I only had 2 hours of daylight. So 4 to 6 was my business. I would make more doing one job than I made 8 hours on my job. And I did that a few times. And I said, you know what? This job is in the way. I wanted to hang in till March. I wanted to kind of have the security of the check coming in. But I was looking at how much am I losing when these jobs come in and I can't take them because I'm making $35 and I could be making $200 for that hour. You see what I'm saying? And the control piece was a thing. But the reality is, Alex, is for me, it's time freedom. I need the freedom to be able to do this. If I'm working a job, Alex, I can't do this unless I ask permission, unless I ask someone a little break and stuff like this. My schedule is my own. When you schedule this, I say, look, whatever time you tell me, I'll work everything else around it. That's what I need. I need to be able to travel when I want to, but I still have to be able to manage and take care of the things I want to. And shockingly, appliance repair. And it's the funniest thing because when I tell people, I'm like, hey, you should look into this. Oh man, you out there fixing toasters, Greg? I'm like, okay, we'll leave it at that. I mean, you know how it works out, but they think I'm out here fixing toasters, making $12 an hour. Okay. They know I'm not like that, but they just assume that because to be honest, it is pie in the sky. You're not going to think that. You're not going to have the impression that you can really make a solid living doing this. And you can make what you make at your job doing this. If you're making 50, 60,000, you can come and do this in less hours and make the same money. And no one really gets that. You don't have to tell me twice. I got it. And to the point where I quit my job abruptly. I was like, look, this is all right. It's been nice knowing you guys. Well, what do you mean? We'll get you a raise now. It won't be enough. You can't pay me enough because the time freedom is what I'm after. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Um, I I identify, what you're saying resonates a lot with me, and I would say that it resonates a lot for the people that'll be watching this interview. And I very much do identify with these motivating factors of yours. Same for me.
Indeed.
Same for me.
Good. Good stuff. We're friends. We're friends for a long time, buddy.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's like not a brotherhood. It's like a clan out there. You might not know people.
Right.
If you cross paths, you start talking. You're like, I got you. Um,
See, Alex, you do understand. See how I tell you this? You're like, oh, yeah, I get it. Do you know I can tell 10 other people and they won't get it?
yeah.
Oh my God, you quit your job? That's dangerous. I'm like, staying at your job is dangerous. What are you talking about? So that's why I said I can talk to you all day because you'll get it. I don't have to try to explain or get just turned off that you can't figure it out. And everyone's not designed to be the owner. So I understand that. But I prefer to spend my time with Alex and guys like Alex because I can have a normal conversation and it can take me to the next level because you guys get it. You see what I'm saying? You guys will take the risk. You'll bet on yourself. You'll push all your chips in on Alex and spin the wheel and know that you're going to hit, or at least you'll try.
Oh,
And
yeah.
those are the guys I want to be around. So I'm glad we're talking.
Yeah, yeah, me too, man. I hear you. Um, let me shift gears a little bit and a follow-up question for you from that last one. So you're sharing why you started your business, and
Right.
we're kind of spitballing from there. But help the people that are going to be watching this get a sense. Maybe they've been there, or they're there, or maybe they're thinking about starting their business, and this will help them. But what are some of the toughest things that you went through in your opening and your sort of startup phase?
Uh, I'm going to say that my startup phase is probably different than most because when I look into different forums and I hear people and they say things like, hey, how do you get more business to go and stuff like that? I'm actually pretty good at marketing already. So I knew how to put myself out there, and I'm actually overwhelmed with business. I have too much business and I don't know what to do with it. I'm trying to figure out how to hire people, but I still can't figure out everything that I need to know. So my business start was different in that way. What I did is I went the warranty company route. So I set myself up with three warranty companies. And what happened when they finally got my paperwork through, they literally just called me and said, "Hey, got these 3 jobs for you, got these 4 jobs." And mind you, I didn't know anything. So I'm learning as I'm going and I'm doing stuff. I'm figuring it out as I go. But that was the big thing. And if I had to tell someone what would make it easier, what made it easy for me is mentorship. I don't know what people are thinking, but damn, I looked everywhere I could. I said, "I'll come work for you for free. I'll do whatever it takes. Let me just sit. I'll buy you food, whatever it takes. Please let me just sit with you. You don't have to pay me anything." I was willing to do that because I needed that information. It's millions of dollars in that information, and I know how to translate it. So I went that route. I literally started. I found out it was a wash machine. I totally bombed on the first job, didn't know how to diagnose, but I learned from it and I read up on it. And the next time I ran into that, I knew what drain pump. I just did one, but I learned off that first one. So the challenge is the learning. I think people think that someone's going to hold your hand to start a business, and they're not. It's not going to be that. You have to go out there and take your own initiative. I'm a self-starter, so it's easy for me. I know most people aren't, but you have to sit down and study. You have to sit down and read. You have to sit down and try to understand the stuff. And even if you don't understand it, still read it. You'll understand it later. And you have to get mentorship, because what they'll do is help you step over the landmines, because they already stepped into them. They knew what it was. So I've had those, "Hey, avoid that dishwasher. It's a pain. Hey, make sure you pull this out first." Like today, I used a pro tip someone gave me. Instead of using the screwdriver to put the garbage disposal on and tap it with the hammer, use those the pliers. Open them up all the way, squeeze the two together, nice and easy. And that's just something I tried the first time today on two garbage disposals. I said, "Wow." And I learned like that. So to answer your question, because I gave you the long-winded version, um, to start in this business, the things to watch out for is thinking things will just come to you. They won't. You have to kind of go get them. You do have to sit down and you have to learn. The business is not easy, but it's worth it. And it's actually easier than your job. It's easier than your job, but if you think you're just going to just go in and money just falls into your lap, that's not the case. You're going to be picking up some big items and doing stuff. But if you can see the far thought on it, and you can see the potential of where this can go, where you can make 300, 400, 500, 600, $1,000 a day. And so that's where I'd push people. Just make sure you study and get a mentor.
Yeah.
And everything else would be cool. Some people might go to Sears route. I didn't do that. I just jumped right in.
Yeah. No, I can't emphasize enough, to the people that are watching this, that are going to be watching this. I can't emphasize enough the importance of mentorships. Whether it's, and if you think about a mentorship, it's at the base level. It's surrounding yourself with another person or other people that know more than you.
Yeah.
Whether that is, let's go out there, whether that's doing, like signing up with warranty companies so you can tap into the tech support, whether that's attending some of these like weekly meetings that we hold throughout the group where you just sit around this virtual roundtable with other techs or appliance owners.
Indeed. Indeed.
Business owners. And then also something else that I heard from you that is a saying that I like is the concept of failing forward. You're talking about how you're jumping in and you're figuring it out and you're learning on the spot.
Right.
It's like this, there's these two sides of the spectrum. One is like analysis paralysis. Like, let me think through all the possible things that could be going on with this whatever, to the point where you never do anything. And then the other is failing forward. And it's a balance. You need to make sure that you're not failing so much that you're not making forward progress, but you need to make sure that you're failing enough to be able to learn and implement what you've learned moving forward, so that you're making.
Agreed.
Agreed. So let's stay on that. Let's stay on the topic a little bit of kind of like things that you've learned from starting out. If you could take what you know now, go back 90-ish days to day number one. What would be one thing that you would do different?
Oh, I can't curse on here, right? Don't curse. I almost cussed.
I
I'll avoid it.
not
I
to.
almost cussed. But I was about to say, doggone it, QuickBooks.
Mhm.
You find some platform, QuickBooks, because when the money starts coming in, you don't always get paid on the spot. You'll lose track of it. You have other stuff you're worried about. You're studying for the next thing you got to do tomorrow, and you'll lose track of money. So now all this money's coming in, and I'm trying to figure out where it is. So this week I'm going to get an accountant. I'm gonna find out what he wants me to use. But since QuickBook is the industry standard, I just said that. But if he has a different platform he wants me to use, I want to be able to plug in numbers, hit a button, it goes to him. Because the biggest thing I focus on now is tax liability. I want to make sure I don't have that hang up later on. This money's coming in, and all of a sudden you find out you owe 50 grand or some crazy number. So that's the big thing for me. If I have to cycle back, I would have had QuickBooks for my very first day. My very first thing, I would have put the name and the information in there when I got paid. Now I have to kind of start it from now and kind of do it. All I have is bank records. So that would be the biggest thing I would say.
No, that's great, man. That's great. Uh, yeah, it is so important to know your numbers.
Oh
And
man.
one of the things that I learned early on is with business, get yourself as soon as you can to the place where you can be reviewing your monthly financials, your profit and loss statements, your cash flow statements. If you have to learn how to read those, you need to know what that means, but you can't even get there unless you have a bookkeeping software in place or a bookkeeping process in place and somebody that's going to do it.
100%.
And and then getting a little bit deeper on this with the knowing your numbers, you know this advice that you're giving folks, get set up with QuickBooks, and everything that that means along with it is setting up the foundation not only to make sure you're going to get paid, know how much you're getting paid, and be able to look at things from a very high level, but it'll also let you look at things in a more granular level. So something that I've been talking and writing a lot about lately, and we're going to get into, I want to hear for you, this is a segue into my final question for you, because you had mentioned
Okay.
marketing. And one of the things that I preach is how important it is to know your numbers around your marketing. Like,
Mm,
what is a lead worth to your business? Um, if you know what a lead is worth to your business, you know how much you can, if you're going the route of paying paid advertising, you know how much you can pay on a per lead basis to acquire a new customer. You can't do any of that stuff. Well, you can make educated guesses. You can guesstimate. And that's what I do with a lot of the owners that I work with. But if you have QuickBooks in place, you're able to know, like, solidly, this is exactly how much on average I generate for a ticket. So my average revenue per service ticket is $200,
yep.
175, 250. Depends on where you're at. Depends on your business, and then you can go deeper from there.
And
But
let me piggyback on that super quick. Just know what you just said, and just to add something to it, it's a great motivator when you look and you say, "Oh snap! Look how much I made," or "Look at the average that I have over time. Look at how this adds up." Also, the second part is you can scale it. You can say, "Well, I only worked 3 hours a day and did this much. What if I work 5, 6 hours a day? It would look like this." So I'm just adding that because that's another component that I started to see. Once I started to put the numbers down, I could see the numbers, and it was exciting. You see what I'm saying? So it was a huge motivator, but it also allows you to scale, also kind of project, see what's going on.
yeah, yeah. One little quick piggyback on your piggyback is, this will also help you if it's in your business's goals to have more techs, to hire, to get to
Oh,
that place. This is going
oh,
to help you understand, like, the numbers behind what's your margin, what is your margins going to be when you're paying a tech, how do you want to structure that, how many leads, how many appointments, service calls do I need to put on that tech's plate in order to make this work from the numbers, that kind of stuff. um,
indeed.
but yeah, just in terms of trying to be sensitive of time, we're trying to keep these interviews between 20 and 30 minutes. Final question for you, take as much, go as deep as you'd like to go. But you had mentioned that marketing is something that comes easily to you, or that you're good at marketing your business. Can you share
Mhm.
with everybody, like, what your approach is? What does that mean? for your business, and what can people learn from you?
All right. So I do a lot of guerrilla marketing. The higher level marketing, I'll leave it up to guys like you. Just pay you the money and you'll sort it out because you already have the formula. You see what I'm saying? So this is what you're doing. Mine is more guerrilla marketing. So it's a lot of Facebook, let's say Instagram. But I might have taken pictures of the house I was at. Well, if you see posted I put online, I'm like, oh, what the hell is this? You know? And what it does, it opens up other text to be like, hey, what is he talking about? Well, I market the same way, like, hey, this was a crazy thing to fix right here. Look at this. And I'll just post it on Facebook. But someone, without me soliciting them, they're like, oh, this guy fixed that. Hey, can you fix this here? So my marketing is never really direct, it's more subliminal, but I keep the page entertaining to keep you engaged in the page. I might have some encouragement on there, might have something else, a little appliance joke, and then I'll have me breaking something down, saying, "Man, I couldn't believe this took me 50. It took me 50 minutes, and it should have took me 5. It was this stupid little thing here." Then I'll get a call. Hey, you fix refrigerators? Yeah. But then I get to open it up to the website and the .com and additional marketing. And again, just trying to touch on it. I just ordered some shirts with my logo on it. So for instance, I see some writing on your shirt. This is just a shirt, man. Making a total mistake. I should be constantly marketing all the time. I don't have to tell you, I'm telling the audience, a hat, constantly branding myself constantly. I'm investing in that. I know it's going to be a little ghetto, but I don't have any business cards. So I'm telling people, hey, lock my number in. What it is, I have to go get the business cards. I mean, I'm embarrassed to even say it. That's like bare basics 101. Don't be mad at me, Alex. I know you probably looking at me like, what the hell? But business cards, your shirts. I just ordered 3 and I'm gonna order 10 more after that. Um, Facebook, these are free mediums. I use the free way to market to as many people. And if you do that and you're consistent with like a Facebook or an Instagram, people will begin to look for your stuff. I have a YouTube channel I'm working on, put that out there just to talk about my day, but it brings more people in just to see my life and I'm cool and I'm fun. But really what they're finding out is, hey, I'm calling that guy. So that's the marketing that I do. I think anyone can do that. It's just a matter of posting, marketing, talking about. And one more thing, really quick. Shout out to you, Alex, for getting me on this interview. Shout out to Justin Nunn, one of my mentors and whatnot, helping me out. Shout out to Greg Birch, walking me all the way through this. There's no way I could say all this stuff without giving those guys credit and giving you credit, man, because you guys are giving me an avenue. I can't believe how blessed I am that you guys are seeing me and giving me a little bit of notice and helping me out. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely, man. The saying, rising tide lifts all boats, is definitely one that applies here. And it's definitely one that I like. So you mentioned that you had a YouTube channel. So let's close out for the recorded part of this interview. What message do you have to any of those members of the Appliance Apprentice Group? And then let's close it out with how people can find you on YouTube.
Okay, so the YouTube channel is actually Manhood AF. Now the focus on that was talking about men, clothes, traveling, dealing with women, stuff like that. That was the initial thing. And I did a few episodes on that. Again, it's Manhood AF. But now I have to shift what that is because I want to speak about entrepreneurship, starting your own business, getting in for yourself. So if someone goes there now, I'm talking about, 10 things to look for in a woman, stuff like that. But I'm going to be adding more content that's going to be kind of throwing this right in there. Like being a man is taking responsibility, having accountability, creating things, building things. And you can either build your career in someone's company or you can build your company. But either way, you need to be doing that, not just sitting there hoping to get a check. So that's pretty much what that is. And you said, how would I tell people to apply that information
No,
as
just
far as
like
marketing?
what message do you have for the members of the group? So the Facebook Appliance Apprentice Group.
Listen, listen, group, stop playing games, man. You got Facebook friends. Take one job a week if you got to. If that's all the consistency you got, take one job a week and post it. Post it on your page. Hey, man, I worked this job today. It was tough. Or, hey, I worked this job today and it was successful. And make it something that somebody else might have in their house. And then what happens is the engagement. Let me throw this in there. You got to do the engagement. It requires you to actually respond to the comments. Hey, you fixed that yourself? Absolutely, I fixed it myself. It was the second one I've done. I'm glad I did it. Hey, I have one like that. Could you help me with mine? Absolutely. Let's reach over into the messages so we can talk about it. It works just like that. Free advertising, free customer. But now someone else saw that engagement. You might have saw that engagement. Hey, did you ever fix that from a week ago, Greg? Yeah, I fixed it. Here's a picture with me and the guy. So see how I put the pictures out and I let the pictures drive it. I let the pictures tell. I don't ask anyone to give me your business or come see me. I just say, I'm living the best life ever, and this is what I'm doing. And if it's appealing to you, say hi to me. And then the website is going to be extra because I want to get I'm going to get the affiliate marketing. So I'm going to take advantage of that as well and be able to drive people to that right there, but also let that drive people to the Facebook. So the link is in there. Let it drive people to the Instagram. And if you think about that, I have 5,000 Facebook friends, got 3,000 on Instagram. That's 8,000 people, man, right there, free marketing. And then I'll just call a guy like you to help me get some leads going, and the rest is history. So that's what I would recommend, to just kind of keep a good flow, keep the money coming in so you don't have those dry days. 2 or 3 jobs a day is really all you need to feel good about yourself. 5, 6, now you're traveling. Now you got extra money. But that can only be done by marketing. And I think, and I'll share this really quick. I've started many businesses, and the one thing I learned and where I failed in those businesses is I didn't pay attention to the marketing. I put that 30% of my, because I believe in a 30% budget for marketing. If you make $100, $30 of that should be in your marketing. But I took the 30 and put it into accents and a lamp and all this other stuff. So I had a beautiful space and no one was there. So that's the lesson I learned from marketing. So now I purposely make sure every 1,300 goes to Alex. Alex sets me up with the proper type of thing that I need to do going on there, type of marketing, leads and stuff like that. And I multiply the 300. Most people get scared of that, but you're multiplying that money. That's just an investment in yourself to get access to take that 300 to 3,000. That's how I look at that. So I would tell everyone, if you're not marketing, get to marketing, because the marketing is watering your flowers. Your flowers don't grow. They don't flourish. Your garden doesn't grow unless you put some water on it and nourish it, and it grows and give it some sunlight. Marketing is the water and the sunlight. You gotta have it, or I'll show you a dried up weed burnt up in the yard because it has no water, and that's business with no marketing. Listen, I learned myself more than one time, and so if I couldn't tell you anything else, marketing, branding, marketing at all times.